Good evening, everybody. This is Claude Sullivan speaking from Memorial Coliseum on the campus of the University of Kentucky in Lexington. Tonight, basketball fans, the U of K Wildcats take on Duke University here at Lexington. So that you may follow the fortunes of the Wildcats on your radio, Standard Oil Company and Standard Oil dealers throughout Kentucky, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, and Mississippi are bringing you this game and all of U of K's games at home and away over the Standard Oil Network. This is the first home game in over 2 weeks for the Wildcats. Their last appearance in Memorial Coliseum was the 14th of last month against Louisiana State. That was the last action seen by the Blue Devils. So tonight it will be interesting to see the results of an 18-day layoff for Duke, while the Kentucky Wildcats has played 3 games. Kentucky will play only 4 more games in Lexington this season, and after tonight, the Wildcats will have only 1 game on the schedule outside the conference. Kentucky and Duke first met in basketball back in 1930, when the Blue Devils beat the Wildcats by 2 points in the championship game of the Southern Conference Tournament. That was the last game played by a Kentucky team under Johnny Maurer, who's now coaching at Florida. Rupp-coached teams have played Duke 3 times without a loss. Adolph Rupp beat the Blue Devils with his very first team in the quarterfinals of the Southern Conference Tournament. His second season, Rupp beat Duke over at Alumni Gym. And the last meeting was in the first round of the Invitational Tournament in 1953. The Wildcats won by 16 points, the biggest score in the 4-game series with Duke. 2 of the games were played in Atlanta, and the other 2 here in Lexington. The 2 teams have never played in Durham, North Carolina, the home of the Blue Devils. Duke, incidentally, was founded as Union Institute back in 1839, changed to Normal College in 1851, and became Trinity College in 1859, and was renamed Duke University in 1924. The beautiful campus is located in a 7,700-acre forest just outside Durham, North Carolina, a city of 75,000 population in the heart of Tobaccoland. Durham manufactures 24% of the world's cigarettes, and Duke has an enrollment of 4,900, including 1,500 in the professional schools. So far this season, Kentucky has played 3 of the top 10 teams in the nation and lost each time. The first loss was to 7th-ranked Temple, then came a loss to 2nd-ranked Dayton, and last Saturday to 3rd-ranked Vanderbilt. The Wildcat losses have been by margins of 8, 12, and 15 points. Tonight, the Wildcats take on a 4th member of the country's elite, 10th-ranked Duke. And this will give them a chance to finally win from the nation's top. The Wildcats have beaten 11th-ranked St. Louis, and a win over Duke tonight might not drop the Blue Devils from the top 10, since they return home for an engagement with 9th-ranked North Carolina. No team in the top 10 comes too close to Kentucky in playing other members of that select group. Well, Duke has been weakened for the game tonight with the loss of their number 5 scorer. Jack Kalpfus has been declared ineligible for further play this season due to scholastic standings. He had appeared in every game and was averaging better than 7.5 points a game. So far this season, the Blue Devils have won 12 while losing only 2. They reeled off 7 straight wins before losing to North Carolina by 10 points. But they have a chance this Saturday night to even that score. They beat Wake Forest in their last game before the Christmas holidays, but in the Dixie Classic, the Deacons upset Duke 84-71. But since then, they have whipped North Carolina State, South Carolina, Clemson, and Maryland. Both teams have beaten Georgia Tech, Duke winning by 21 points in their 3rd game of the season. Kentucky has beaten the Yellow Jackets twice, winning by 53 points here at the Coliseum, and Monday night by 22 points in Atlanta. That comparison gives Kentucky the edge, but the Blue Devils get the edge when you examine the games with Maryland. Duke beat the Terps by 14 points at Durham, and Kentucky beat Maryland by only 1 point at College Park. Most coaches feel the home floor advantage amounts to about 12 points, and that would place the teams on about equal schedule. Duke coach Harold Bradley says this is the way he'll line the Blue Devils up for the opening tap, which at this moment is just a couple of minutes away. He is still undecided about one position, but it looks like the Blue Devils will line up this way. We know we are going to get Joe Belmont at a guard. He's the captain, 21-year-old senior from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. B-E-L-M-O-N-T, Joe Belmont, who is 5'11", weighs 165. He's second in scoring, 250 points in the 14 games, giving Belmont an average of 17.8 per game. And we look for his running mate at guard to be Bobby Joe Harris, a young 19-year-old sophomore from King, North Carolina. Harris is also 5'11", but he is a little heavier than Belmont, weighs 180 pounds, 15 pounds more than the star. Harris has 92 points this season, an average of 6.5 points a game, and as a sophomore has been playing in a high reserve role and playing very effectively. In the pivot tonight, we expect to find Bob Licata, L-A-K-A-T-A, Licata. He is 6'6", weighs 215. He is a 20-year-old junior. At a Duke forward, Ronnie Mayer, 21-year-old senior from Avalon, Pennsylvania. Mayer, M-A-Y-E-R, stands 6'4", weighs 185. He is the leading scorer for the Blue Devils. Mayer has 281 points, an average of 21.6 a game. Of the 10 players starting this ball game, he will have the best average. Well, we've just been notified that Bobby Joe Harris is not going to start, but Jim Newcomb, another sophomore, a 19-year-old boy from Gary, Indiana, will take over that other guard opposite Belmont. N-E-W-C-O-M-E. Newcomb has 58 points, averaging 4 points a game. He's 6'5", weighs 195 pounds. And the other forward is a lad who played in the last meeting between these two teams in 1953, Junior Morgan, who played as a sophomore and now plays as a senior. He's 21 years old and hails from Asheboro, North Carolina. Morgan stands 6'7", weighs 195 pounds. This season, he's registered 134 points, an average of 9.5 per game. Each team here tonight has played 14 games so far this season. Here's the starting lineup from the University of Kentucky. Adolph Rupp said he anticipated no change. Jerry Calvert will take his normal guard position. He stands 5'11", weighs 160. He's a junior, 20 years old. Calvert has 192 points this season to be third among the scorers. He's averaging 13.7 a game. His biggest night came in Knoxville when he scored a total of 24 points. Incidentally, he's the only one of the starting 5 who's had his best offensive night away from the Coliseum. The other guard, Vernon Hatton, had his best night in scoring against Georgia Tech when he had 21. He's a 19-year-old sophomore from Lexington, played high school basketball at Lafayette. H-A-T-T-O-N. Hatton is 6'3", weighs 180. He's number 4 in scoring with 157 points, averaging 11.2 a game. In the pivot is Bob Burrow, the heaviest of all the Wildcats at 220 pounds. He's a 21-year-old senior from Wells, Texas. He stands 6 feet 7 inches tall, leads the Wildcats in scoring with 258 points, an average of 19.8 a game. His biggest night was here in the Coliseum against Louisiana State when he scored 50. At a forward, Jerry Bird, 21-year-old senior from Corbin, who stands 6'6" and weighs 210. He is second in scoring with 241 points, averaging 17.2 a game. His big night was Dayton when he scored 34. The other forward is the captain, Phil Grawemeyer from Louisville, 21-year-old senior, a graduate of DuPont Manual. Grawemeyer, the tallest of the Cats at 6'8", weighs 180. Grawemeyer has 121 points this season to rank number 5, an average of 8.6 a game. His biggest night was against Idaho, the 17th of December, when he scored 13 points. Duke tonight will be in blue, trimmed in white, and the Wildcats will be white, trimmed in blue. School colors, blue and white for each team. Well, those are your starting lineups for Kentucky and Duke in the number 1 game in the nation tonight. This winter, for the first time, your Standard Oil dealer offers the Atlas Weather Guard tire for tubeless mounting, as well as the conventional design with tube. So whether you have a new car or an older model, Atlas Weather Guards can bring you safer and more dependable winter driving. The Weather Guard is the tire which gives you both sure traction and whine-free performance on clear pavement. The Weather Guard tread features hundreds of closely spaced, flexible lugs. You get maximum self-cleaning action for quick starts and stops when you need them most. Every Atlas Weather Guard carries a written guarantee from Standard Oil, backed by 38,000 United States and Canadian dealers. So whether you drive, whatever the hour, Atlas service is always close by. So get a grip on the road. See your Standard Oil dealer for his smooth-running, long-wearing Atlas Weather Guard tires. We've just had one late score reported. Army has defeated Albright by a margin of 4 points. The final score is Army 75, Albright 71. Incidentally, there will be a lack of music tonight since we're between semesters. Classes do not start here at the university until next week, and that will be the return of the University of Kentucky student body, and with them, the band. Our officials tonight are Max Macon of the Southeastern Conference and Leonard Toff, T-O-F-F, of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Well, we thought maybe you boxing fans would like to know that a big match was lined up a few minutes ago for April 27th in Los Angeles, California. The middleweight champion, Ray Robinson, agreed a short while ago to take on his middleweight title against Bobo Olson. They fought, of course, last December with Robinson getting the crown in 2 rounds. Robinson fights Bobo Olson on April 27th. Right now in front of us, the captain of the Duke Blue Devils, the acting captain, we should say, Joe Belmont, meets with the Kentucky captain, Phil Grawemeyer, as we wait to get things underway. We learned today from Bloomington, Indiana, that the University of Indiana has lost another basketball player. He's Dick Duster from Parkersburg, West Virginia, declared ineligible. Of course, it was only last weekend the 2 sophomore stars, Paxton Lumpkin and Charlie Brown, were placed on the ineligible list. And the very fine athlete from Plainfield, New Jersey, Milt Campbell, has been declared scholastically ineligible at Indiana. Now, before tip-off time, here is Mr. John Clark, the president of the University of Kentucky YMCA, which will offer the prayer for world peace, and then after that, the national anthem.
Our Father, we ask thy blessing upon this country, that it might be a blessing to the world. Grant that our ideals and aspirations may be in accord with thy will. Help us to see ourselves as others see us. Grant us a sound government, just laws, good education, and simplicity and justice in our relationships with one another. But above all, grant us a spirit of service which will abolish pride of place and inequality of opportunity. Amen.
Before tip-off time, let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.
Radio station WVLK, Lexington, Kentucky. The 8 o'clock temperature in Lexington, 35 degrees.
Officials Max Macon and Leonard Toff move out for the opening tap. as Adolph Rupp has final words with the Wildcats, and Harold Bradley has final instructions for his Blue Devils, who move out of the huddle and toward the center of the court for the opening jump. Duke is first out and around the circle, and here come the Wildcats. Bob Burrow to move in and jump center, standing 6 feet 7 inches tall, will be jumping against Junior Morgan, who also stands 6'7". The only difference is 25 pounds in favor of Burrow. Making out for the toss as Burrow moves in against Morgan, who played here in the Coliseum in 1953. Here's the toss quickly by Morgan in backcourt to Ronnie Mayer. Moves in front court with a laid down pass to Jim Newcomb, the sophomore, who wears glasses. Over to Belmont, break, screen, jump shot, no good. To the right, rebounding, Grawemeyer of Kentucky gets it out to Calvert, who had Morgan almost go over his back, and he nicely avoided a collision. Gives to Bird, back to Calvert, who drives by Belmont. He missed it. Fighting for it on the rebound. A foul is called as Calvert goes to the floor. A pushing foul against Calvert is the first one of the ball game. 23 seconds have been played with no score. But Duke right now has a free throw opportunity coming. Shooting, 5'11" Joe Belmont. Mayer backed up in safety as Belmont fires it, no good. Off the back of the rim, Morgan taps, no good. Bird rebounds for Kentucky. Up to Calvert at the dividing line, who moves out to set it up with a pass over to Hatton. Double pivot, strong right, jump shot by Bird. It's no good. Coming off the boards with it is Duke. It's pulled in by Belmont, who races in behind Bird, goes all the way, and then flips a pass off on the right side to Newcomb. Back out front, quick two-handed jump shot in there and out on a fine try by Licata, and taken off by Calvert. Belmont goes to the floor trying to stop him. He comes on up to the free throw line, whips to Grawemeyer. He's open, the shot, no good. Bird knocks it up on the boards, no good, and it's taken off once again by Duke. Moving up in front court with it is Ronnie Mayer. Gives over on the side, and a foul is called. Charging foul against Duke. An offensive foul against Ronnie Mayer. 6'4" top scoring threat of the Blue Devils. 1 minute and 2 seconds have gone by. Neither team has scored, but Vernon Hatton will try one free throw. Belmont had one for Duke and missed it. Billy Ray Cassidy of Inez sits in the number 1 substitute chair down on the Kentucky bench as Hatton fires it good, and we get our first score after 62 seconds. Hatton shooting a bonus shot now with a 1-0 lead. Calvert in safety, and Newcomb off on the right side for Duke. The shot is short. Bird rebounds, juggles it, dribbles out to Hatton. Top rim of the circle. He gives to Calvert to the right side. He sets. Belmont hawking him from a deep defensive position. Over to Hatton to Bird on the left side. A fake, a break. He's cut off by Morgan. Hooks a pass to Hatton, who breaks into the keyhole. Free throw line high. Gives to Burrow on the top rim of the circle. Outside to Grawemeyer to Hatton as the Wildcats set it up. Moving to the strong side with a bounce pass to Grawemeyer is Hatton, who gets a return and then flips out front to Calvert. He breaks to the left. A screen from Bird. Morgan came through to stop him, though, off on the left side. A looping bounce pass out to Hatton. The Cats playing the double pivot tonight with Burrow back in the baseline, working his way up. The pass is on the strong side to Burrow. He turns, shot, no good. Rebounding, Duke, as it's pulled in by Jim Newcomb. Over to Belmont, moves in front court to the top rim of the circle. Stopped by Grawemeyer. He backs away and feeds over to Mayer, who slips but gets it down before he walks, spins, shoots, no good. Bird rebounds, quick two-handed pass out to Calvert. And neither team can score after 2 minutes. Grawemeyer open, shoots, and is fouled. Knocked to the floor hard by the Blue Devils. Number 33, Junior Morgan, committing his first foul of the game. 1 minute and 57 seconds have rolled off the clock, and neither team has showed any offensive punch so far. Grawemeyer goes to the Kentucky free throw line for a pair. The first try is good. Kentucky leads 2-0, as they've been able to hit 2 out of 3 free throws. It's in play now as Grawemeyer takes his second shot. Fouled in the act of shooting. It's no good. Tapped by Bird, no good. And Duke's Joe Belmont scoops it up in the short hop at his ankles. He moves up past the 10-second stripe. Passes over to teammate Jim Newcomb. Back to Belmont on the right side. Calvert on him. He gets a screen, and Belmont gets away for a shot that is good, and a foul is called. The goal counts. And a personal foul on Grawemeyer. Belmont went by, leaving Calvert out in the middle of the floor, and ties the game up 2-2 with the first field goal after 1 minute and 12 seconds of play. The field goal by Belmont's the first of the game, and his free throw is no good. Grawemeyer taps behind him to Calvert in a 2-2 ball game. Up the way to Hatton, who moves in front court. Top rim of the circle, goes to the free throw line and bounces one out to Calvert. He moves to the left. Pass over to Hatton, down the right side to Grawemeyer. A long step, no dribble, and then a pass out to Calvert, who moves into the right corner. A bounce pass out to Grawemeyer, tried it to Hatton and almost didn't turn loose of it. Hatton moved in to get it, moves down the left side of the baseline, fakes to Calvert going through, gives to Burrow. At the free throw line, he can't get a shot away. Gives over to Hatton, draws the defense in and passes out to Calvert. Comes to the top rim of the circle, hooks a pass over to Grawemeyer, and the pivot to Burrow, breaks for the basket, kicks to Burrow, jump shot by Bird, no good. The goal is good by Bird as it's tapped in the side, and it's 4-2 Kentucky as each team has a field goal, a pair of free throws. It's the only separation at the moment. Joe Belmont, the little 5'11" guard in front court on the right side, gets his screen and breaks in and walks with it. Tried to stop quickly down in the 3-second zone and couldn't quite get the traction he needed. So it's Kentucky's ball off the eastern side of the backcourt. Calvert gets the incoming pass with a 2-point lead. Bounce pass off the weak side of the double pivot to Burrow. Back to Hatton. Wide open coming through the middle. Hatton gets his first field goal and timeout. Duke. First time out of the ball game as Kentucky has moved into a 6-2 lead after being tied up 2-all. Well, the scoring started after 1 minute and 2 seconds of play when Vernon Hatton, fouled by Ronnie Mayer, dropped in a free throw. And Phil Grawemeyer, fouled by Junior Morgan, hit 1 out of 2 to give Kentucky a 2-0 lead. Belmont's field goal was good to tie it up, and then a free throw was missed. Then we had a 10-foot jump shot by Bird and this driving trip by Hatton to put Kentucky on top 6-2. Since it was Duke's timeout and they're ready to go, Kentucky must get back to meet the threat. The Blue Devils are ready to operate, and Kentucky's just now breaking huddle. 3.5 minutes have been played. Hatton has scored 3 points, Grawemeyer 1, Bird 2. For Duke, Belmont has a field goal, and he's missed 2 free throws. He passes into Ronnie Mayer, who's come to the outside to play now, and he hands to Jim Newcomb moving by him. Newcomb moves in on a 1-2-2 defense with the Blue Devils playing a double pivot off the deep 3-second zone. Belmont a head fake and a pass out. Then a pass into the pivot. Bird almost ties up. Moving in is Morgan. His jump shot blocked by Bird. A fight for it. Calvert drops it and scoops it up for Kentucky. Hatton was going in open. Calvert didn't have good possession, though. High pass to Burrow, who throws it right into the hands of Morgan. High pass to Belmont. He's going in open. Grawemeyer stopped him and blocked the shot. It's out of bounds. Goes out of bounds to Kentucky. Calvert quickly into Hatton, who moves in front court. Whips one over to Jerry Bird on the weak side of the double pivot. He drives, and the shot's good. It counts, and a foul has been called against Bird for charging. It's the first foul on Bird. Grawemeyer more or less created the situation since he cut in front of Bird, and of course in doing that drew another defensive man into the path of Bird, who was on the move. The field goal is the second of the ball game for Bird, gives Kentucky an 8-2 lead, and sends Duke's Junior Morgan to the free throw line for 1 try. He stands 6'7", matching the height of Bob Burrow of Kentucky. Morgan, feet together, shoots and hits. That's the first one in 3 tries the Blue Devils have converted. Belmont and Newcomb back as Morgan shoots the second shot good. It's 8-4. That second one, incidentally, was a bonus shot. Here's Hatton moving in front court for Kentucky with a lead of 4 points. Over to Calvert. Down the right side to Grawemeyer and back to Calvert. Hatton goes through. Burrow gets it at the top of the circle. Drives. Has the ball knocked away and out of bounds, and it's Duke's ball right in front of their own basket. Jim Newcomb to Ronnie Mayer, who moves in front court down the left side with Hatton on him. Spins, fakes Hatton out of the way, and shoots. No good. Bob Burrow rebounds. Mayer took it away from him. Moves in, jump shot, good, and he's fouled on the play, but it's nullified by the foul on Bob Burrow. First foul on Burrow, and it is the 4th foul against Kentucky in 4.5 minutes of play. Shooting, Ronnie Mayer of Duke, who has not scored and makes his first appearance a successful one at the free throw line. Mayer was stepping in that 3-second zone very quickly then. Feet close together. The right-hander flips it up too hard. As it catches the front of the rim, it settles in. And the score is 8-6. Duke has hit 4 straight free throws after missing 2 in a row. Here's Hatton in front court down the left side, which is strong this time, to Bird. Bird weighs it over his head, double-teamed, then flips it out to Grawemeyer, hands to Calvert, moving by on the inside. Back down the left side to Grawemeyer, to Calvert, to Hatton. The first man through, and Belmont hooked it away, and Hatton charged. Nope, wait a minute. Did the official signal 44?
Who's that on?
It is on Hatton. The first one, and each one of the Kentucky starters has now committed a personal foul. Duke's Joe Belmont goes to the line for 1 shot after 5 minutes of play. Free throw good. That's the first one he's hit in 3 tries. Belmont has a bonus shot to tie up a game, which at one time was 8-2 in favor of Kentucky. The shot's good. 8-8 the score now as Hatton comes back in front court for the Wildcats. A bounce pass down the left side to Bird, given to Grawemeyer, breaking through the pivot. Back to Bird. Weighs the ball over his head. Out front pass goes to Calvert, who moves in behind Hatton and then backs away, moving back to the left. Passes to Grawemeyer, out to Hatton. To the top rim of the circle, he moves to the right, goes to the baseline, spins. His shot's blocked, but a foul has been called against Duke. Personal foul charged to Bob Licata. See, first foul on Licata, and we have 8 men in the ball game with 1 foul against them. Hatton goes to the free throw line for Kentucky, shooting 2. He's hit 1 and missed 1. Here's the first try by Hatton, a 2-hander that's good. Hatton, by the way, is the leading free throw shooter among the starters. He's hit a little better than 70% of his free throws. He's shooting his second one good. Kentucky's in front 10-8. For Hatton, that's 5 points. Timeout Duke, and it's their second timeout of the game. The Blue Devils have called 2 times out now in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Kentucky had, as we said a moment ago, an 8-2 lead when Bird hit a jump shot for his second field goal of the game. Then Morgan, fouled by Bird, got a pair of free throws. Burrow fouled Mayer, and he got a pair of free throws. Then Hatton fouled Belmont, and his 2 free throws tied it up 8-8 as Duke came through with 6 straight free throws. Now we've had Hatton fouled by Licata, and he's picked up a pair of free throws. So we've had 8 straight free throws account for these last 8 points as Kentucky leads 10-8. Duke is playing on 1 field goal by Joe Belmont. Kentucky has 3, 2 by Bird and 1 by Hatton. Kentucky still huddled up, although Duke, which called the timeout, is ready to go with possession under the Kentucky basket. The referee warns that Kentucky must get out and ready to go, and here come the Wildcats back to play. Kentucky's guards tonight, 5'11 and 6'3", stack up pretty well with Duke's pair of guards, 5'11 and 6'5", if Newcomb is considered a guard. Back in front court now comes Ronnie Mayer, who's out front with it this trip. Over to the top rim of the circle to Licata, who breaks down the middle on Burrow and lays it in. Bob Licata gets his first field goal, ties it up 10-10. Calvert to Hatton, who moves past the 10-second stripe. Looks for Burrow, then feeds to Grawemeyer, into Burrow. It's knocked away from Burrow, and Calvert, knocked it away from Mayer, who had the ball there for a moment. Duke goes to the attack now. Belmont gets the incoming pass, moves up in front court. Gives it over to Junior Morgan, to Licata, back off the top rim of the circle to the left, down to Belmont. Fakes a shot and a foul against Calvert, who stabbed for the ball and hit him across the arms. It's the 6th foul against Kentucky, the 2nd one against Calvert. Joe Belmont of Duke goes up for 1 shot. Belmont's hit 2 out of 4. Chance to give Duke its first lead, and he does with his 3rd straight free throw. Well, Duke was down 8-2, and since that they've outscored the Wildcats by a margin of 9-2. Bonus shot's good by Belmont, and Duke leads 12-10. So it looks like another game where Kentucky will have to offset a free throw deficit as they're ahead on field goals. Here's Bird with a jump shot that's no good, and a charging foul on Calvert. That brings Adolph Rupp storming off the bench as Calvert's called for his 3rd foul. It's an offensive charging foul away from the ball. Shooting the free throws for Duke will be Junior Morgan. Duke has 12 points on 2 field goals. Here's the free throw, good by Morgan. Duke missed its first 2 free throw opportunities, and since then has hit 9 straight. Morgan stands in to try to make it 10 in a row, and he does. So Duke is out on top by 4 points. 14-10 with Hatton back in front court for the Wildcats. Over to Calvert. Down the right to Grawemeyer and back to Calvert. Hatton goes through. Calvert gives to Burrow at the top of the circle. Over to Hatton coming out. He moves in, spins one out to Calvert, and moves down the right side to the baseline. Double team, pulls up, walks with it, and out of bounds to Duke. Wildcats getting in trouble here early in the ball game. Here's Mayer, a 25-foot jump shot, no good. Burrow has the rebound taken away from him, but picked up by Grawemeyer as Licata knocked it down. The pass is over to Hatton in front court to Grawemeyer, just inside the dividing line. Out to Calvert, back to Grawemeyer on the right side, back to Hatton. Hatton down the right side, goes all the way and lays it up. Bird tapped it. Let's see who they give it to. They're giving it to Jerry Bird, who tapped the ball as it bounded on the rim to make it 14-12. Duke in front by 2 points. Licata with a 2-handed pass over to Junior Morgan, and Grawemeyer cuts it off as it's intended for Meyer. Over to Calvert, who drives, lays it up, and Ball is blocked on the way to the basket. That brings Adolph Rupp and the Kentucky team up, yelling, but nothing is done about it. And here is Duke's Jim Newcomb laying one in to put Duke in front, 16-12. The fans boo the decision of the officials as they tried, as goaltending was done by Duke. Now here's Calvert driving again, and a foul is called, blocking against Duke, and Adolph Rupp's going out now to talk with the officials. Pointing up, it was goaltending, and the basket was stabbed. And one of the officials now goes over to talk with Rupp, and you can tell the way the fans are feeling about the early way this game is being called. The foul on Bob Licata is number 2. And Calvert on the line for Kentucky, shoots and misses everything. He's got another one coming as he was fouled in the act of shooting. Calvert's second shot is good. He's the 4th Wildcat to score. And it's Duke 16, Kentucky 13. Here's a high pass by Belmont, out of bounds as he tried to catch Jim Newcomb breaking in under the basket. And neither official called it. How about that? They're going to give it out of bounds to Duke under its own basket. Newcomb bounces one in, and Mayer drops out of bounds. And they give it to Kentucky as things get very, very unsettled here at the midpoint of the first half. Here's Calvert throwing a bad pass, and it's scooped off by Duke as it's taken away by Junior Morgan. Over to Belmont. Breaks into the 3-second zone. Passes over to Licata, wide open. 15-footer's no good. Grawemeyer rebounds. He's fouled by Belmont. Comes on out of there with it. Over to Vernon Hatton. This thing's about to get completely away from players and officials both. Here's Bird faking, breaking, and comes back with a hook. It's no good. Duke has 3 men, missed the rebound, and Bird taps no good. Duke's got it. Man, a wild and woolly one here tonight as Licata moves in front court. Hatton knocks it off his knee and out of bounds. Duke's got it, though. And listen to the fans get on the officials. They now go into a laugh as Morgan, out of bounds for Duke, pumps one out that Calvert watched sail by him. And it's picked up by Belmont at the dividing line. Cassidy waits to get in for Kentucky. The pass is over to Junior Morgan. Burrow has been taken out front by Bob Licata, who breaks into the keyhole and turns with a jump shot that's no good. Picked up on the bounce by Vernon Hatton, who moves up in front court. Breaks down to the free throw line. Pivots and gives out to Calvert. He sets, and a 30-footer is short. Bounces on the rim, no good. Tapped by Burrow, it's good. Counts, and a foul against Duke. Ronnie Mayer has drawn his second foul of the game. Bob Burrow has his first field goal of the game. That's the 5th field goal for Kentucky, compared to only 3 for Duke, and Duke leads 16-15. Bob Burrow with a free throw will have an opportunity to tie the game up, however. Calvert is out of the game, and Cassidy's in to replace him. 19-year-old sophomore from Inez. Cassidy, 6'3", weighs 190. Has 38 points this season, an average of 3.2 a game. Burrow misses the free throw. It's out of bounds and a jump. Cassidy's big night was here in the Coliseum against Georgia Tech when he scored 10 points. Licata and Grawemeyer jumping. Grawemeyer taps to Burrow, who spins, can't shoot, gives over to Hatton, out front to Cassidy. The southpaw moves to the left and gives to Bird. He sets a 20-footer. It's no good. Burrow hooks off the rebound beautifully, goes to shoot, is fouled. The ball is on the floor. Grawemeyer picks it up. He's fouled and gives it out to Hatton. Hatton goes over, and Grawemeyer and Mayer locked up under the basket. An unbelievable ball game here tonight. Moving up the backcourt is Licata of Duke now with a 1-point lead for the Blue Devils. Over to Ronnie Mayer, now off to Junior Morgan. Morgan, the big man outside. The fans yell walk as his pivot foot slides. Passes over to Mayer, down to Licata, and then a jump shot by Licata is good for his second field goal, and Duke leads 18-15. We got 10 minutes in the first half, and Kentucky wants time out there first of the ball game. Well, this is certainly one of the wildest and woolliest games that has been played this season. Listen to the fans as the officials march to the side of the court. That gives the tenor of the ball game. Well, the last time out was called by Duke. They've had 2 of the 3 that have been called. They moved into a lead of 16-12 when Newcomb hit a layup. Then Calvert on the free throw line hit one. Burrow tapped one in, and it was 16-15, but Licata came back with a 10-foot jump shot. And after 10 minutes, Duke has the lead, 18-15. Right now, 10 minutes and 2 seconds remain to play in this first half of the game. Bird is Kentucky's leading scorer with 6 points. Hatton has 5. Bob Burrow has 2, and Calvert has 1. For Duke, Bob Licata has 4 points. Junior Morgan has 4. Ronnie Mayer has 2. Joe Belmont has 6. Jim Newcomb has 2. The ball is in the possession of Kentucky at midcourt on this western side. Is Vernon Hatton at guard with Bill Cassidy, who will put it in play. Gets it, bounces into Cassidy as Kentucky now has 2 left-handers in the lineup. Cassidy at guard, Gromeyer at forward. Hatton gets it in front court to Bob Burrow, who spins for the basket, fakes Licata, and has 3 men clog him up. Gives out to Hatton, the jump shot short, no good. Tapped by Gromeyer, twice no good. Tapped Burrow, rebounds and shoots, no good. Gromeyer taps, no good. Hatton taps, Gromeyer taps. Moving outside, Bird rebounds, drops, picks up, hooks to Burrow. He hooks one and misses from 10 feet, and a foul is called under the Kentucky basket. It's against Duke's Junior Morgan, his second one of the ball game. There's 6 fouls against Duke and 7 against Kentucky. Bob Burrow of Kentucky will take 2 of them. Burrow's had 1 try and missed it. Kentucky as a team's missed 4 free throws. Burrow misses again as it's short. Kentucky has hit 5 free throws and missed 5. Here's Burrow's second shot. Good. Duke 18, Kentucky 16. Kentucky leads on field goals 5-4. Ronnie Mayer goes to the outside with Joe Belmont and moves the ball in front court for the Blue Devils. Angling to the left with Hatton on him. 2-handed pass to Belmont in the left corner. Huiz breaks by Cassidy, and Cassidy fouled him from the rear. Cassidy is the 6th Wildcat to commit a foul. It's his first one. Belmont in the left corner faked Cassidy to his left, then broke inside him, and Cassidy fouled him trying to catch up to him. Belmont missed his first 2 free throws and then hit 4 in a row. He shoots good. Duke's in front by 3 points once again. Their longest lead was 4. Belmont, bonus shot coming. Puts the feet close together, and the right-hander flips it in good for a 20-16 Duke lead. Kentucky had a 6-point lead and let it get away. Here's Hatton, 20-foot jump shot. Good. Hatton gets his second field goal and 7th point to lead Kentucky as the Duke Blue Devils lead 20-18. Belmont in front court with Cassidy on him. Passes back out deep to Ronnie Mayer, who fakes Hatton, goes by. Bird cut him off, and Bob Burrow rebounded. Slaps up the way to Vernon Hatton, who crisscrosses, hooks, and misses. Gromeyer taps, no good. Cassidy picks it up from the outside. Passes to Burrow to Hatton. 3 men go for him, and he takes a jump shot that's no good. Gromeyer taps, no good. Fight for the ball, and Duke's got it. Mayer took a tremendous spill into that basket, but he's back operating okay. As Bird cut him off, and he went over the back of Bird as he went up to shoot out to Licata at the top of the circle. He moves to the right, faces Burrow with the ball, then hands to Belmont, breaking to the right. At the baseline, he's cut off by Cassidy, spins back out and gets open again and shoots no good. Bird knocked down as he gets the rebound, has it taken away by Junior Morgan and stepped out of bounds with it. Kentucky's got possession, a very ragged ball game, which finds Kentucky behind 20-18. Cassidy moving in front court. Over to Vernon Hatton. High pass and a pivot to Bob Burrow. The defense sinks on him, and he has to slap it out to Gromeyer to save. 25-foot jump shot's no good. Burrow lets the rebound get away as he comes off his head and out of bounds to Duke. 8 minutes to go, and here's Gromeyer fouling as Newcomb was wide open under the Duke basket. It's the 2nd foul on Phil Gromeyer. No activity on the Kentucky bench yet. Shooting is Jim Newcomb of Duke, who will take 2 tries as his team leads by 20-18 with 8 minutes in the first half. Newcomb fires it, no good. Newcomb goes back to the Duke free throw line. It's no good. Hatton's got the rebound as it's slapped across to him. Moves up in front court, down the left side to Bird. Takes a 10-foot jump shot. Good. Jerry Bird with his 4th field goal. Bird has as many field goals as Duke, and it's tied up 20-20. Belmont in front court, let the ball get away, but move back outside to recover it. Over to Mayer, to Licata, out deep with Burrow on him. Back over to Ronnie Mayer. Weighs the ball over his head. Passes in the pivot to Junior Morgan, who spins and falls away from Bird. Shot short. Bird rebounds. Outside pass to Bob Burrow, who's on a 2-1 break with Gromeyer. Belmont knocked it away from him and out of bounds into the Duke bench. Kentucky has possession at the baseline to the right of its basket. Vernon Hatton will put it in play. Scored deadlock. Calls his play. Bounce pass in the right corner to Burrow. Hooked out to Bird. 25-foot jump shot. No good. Deflected to the right. Burrow races to the outside and gets the rebound. Pass to Hatton to Cassidy. He moves down the left with Belmont on him, gives to Bird. Holds it over his head as Gromeyer goes to the double pivot with Burrow. Pass over to Hatton. 2 men go for him as the defense gangs him. He turns and shoots, and the shot's blocked beautifully by Newcomb of Duke. Up to Mayer, to Belmont, breaking in on Cassidy. One-on-one, spins away from Cassidy, and Gromeyer picks him up, and he walks with it. Nice defensive help given Cassidy by Gromeyer. And the Duke star Belmont walked with it. So it remains 20-20 in a first half here that's seen neither team get going. Here's Cassidy in front court. 2 men go for him, and he gives to Burrow. The jump shot, no good. Fight for the ball. It's dropped out of bounds by Ronnie Mayer of Duke. And Kentucky's got possession over the baseline just to the right of its basket. Hatton out of bounds, feeds a high one out to Cassidy. Belmont knocked it down, and Cassidy held on. Down the left side to Bird. Takes a 20-foot set shot, no good. Duke rebounds unopposed. Belmont moves in front court to the top of the circle. Passes to Licata. He's open for a 15-footer that's no good. Gromeyer rebounds, gives to Cassidy. 20-20 with 6 minutes in the first half. Cassidy to Hatton. In the pivot to Burrow, out to Gromeyer. Down in the right corner to Jerry Bird. Out front to Hatton again. Hatton moves to the left. Still out deep with it. Over to Cassidy. Cassidy to the right to Bird. Kentucky abandons the double pivot. Over to Gromeyer. 20-foot jump shot. No good, and no rebounding strength, but moving in. Bob Burrow taps it in. Second field goal and 5th point for Burrow as Kentucky leads 22-20 after being down by 4 points, 22-16. Mayer in front court. Over to Licata. Pass down the left corner to Belmont. Shot blocked by Cassidy and knocked right back to him by Gromeyer, who knocked it down short of the basket. Cassidy to Gromeyer in front court. Back out front to Cassidy as the Wildcats set it up. Over to Hatton, who breaks down the middle, and he's fouled by Ronnie Mayer of Duke. It's the number 3 foul on Mayer, as each team now has a starter with 3 fouls. Calvert of Kentucky, who's not in the game. Ronnie Mayer, who's still in the Duke lineup. 5 minutes and 7 seconds in the first half as Vernon Hatton goes to the Kentucky free throw line. He's hit 3 out of 4. Hatton shoots. It's good. So Hatton takes the bonus shot with a lead of 3 points on the board for the Wildcats. Timeout is taken by Kentucky, and it's the second timeout of the game for each team. Well, here's the scoring so far. Jerry Bird has 8 points for Kentucky on 4 field goals. Vernon Hatton has 8 points on 2 field goals and 4 out of 5 free throws, and another one coming. Gromeyer has 1 point. Burrow has 5. Cassidy has not scored. For Duke, Joe Belmont has picked up 8 points. Bob Licata's picked up 4. Jim Newcomb 2. Junior Morgan 4. And Ronnie Mayer 2. The game has been tied 4 times, 2-2, 8-8, 10-10, and 20-all. Kentucky's in front 23-20 right now. Duke is out and ready to go as they take a very short break at times out. They called the first 2 of the game, and then Kentucky has called 2 in a row. Kentucky's next action will be in Montgomery, Alabama, Saturday night against Auburn. Game time, 8 o'clock. Broadcast over these same stations at 8 o'clock Saturday night, Central Standard Time. Hatton on the line for Kentucky has 1 free throw coming. It's a bonus shot that's no good. Gromeyer taps, Burrow taps, Bird taps, and it's good. Jerry Bird taps in his 5th field goal, and Kentucky has the 6 points was their longest lead. Here's Mayer moving in, and Hatton fouled him. Jumped up and jumped into him. Second foul on Vernon Hatton. Ronnie Mayer of Duke goes to the free throw line where he hasn't missed. He's shooting 1. 4 minutes and 54 seconds to go in this first half of the game. Mayer on the Duke line. Right-hander, he fires it good. First Duke substitution of the game is Bobby Joe Harris. Coming out of the game, Jim Newcomb. Bonus shot comes to Ronnie Mayer now as Kentucky's lead is trimmed to 4 points, 25-21. Mayer, right-hander, hits, 25-22 the score. Hatton to Cassidy, moving in front court with it. Down the left side to Bird. Bird out to Cassidy as Kentucky overloads the court against the zone with Gromeyer playing in the left corner. Hatton breaks off the weak side. A foul is called against Burrow for picking. That's the Southern Conference official, and Adolph Rupp's off the bench again as Burrow is called for picking for Hatton on a move down the weak side of court ordered to the left. Shooting for Duke, Bobby Joe Harris, who's just come in the ball game for the Blue Devils. Harris fires it good. Duke has only 4 field goals, and this is much the same type of game Kentucky played in Atlanta, when Georgia Tech had only 8 field goals in the first half, but 34 points. Bonus shot, no good, and Cassidy rebounds for Kentucky. Moves up in front court with it. Top rim of the circle, pulls up, fakes to Hatton. Down the left side to Bird, who fakes, breaks by Morgan, lays it in. Bird goes to the drive and gets his 6th field goal to put Kentucky in front 27-23. Ronnie Mayer in front court for Duke. To Morgan. Out to Harris. Duke going into an outside weave with Belmont to Harris and slipping and falling with it. No walking call, though, against Junior Morgan. Both feet went off the floor, and he had to crawl out to get the ball. Now here's Mayer breaking right around Hatton, wide open. Mayer gets his first field goal of the game. 27-25 with 4 minutes in the first half. Here's Burrow getting it in the pivot. Outside to Hatton. Breaks to the right. Fires a one-handed shot that's blocked and taken by Duke. The high pass to Ronnie Mayer, breaking one-on-one against Cassidy. Pulls up and shoots from the outside and misses. Morgan taps, and he fouled Bird from the rear. That's the 3rd foul on Morgan. Now let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.
WVLK, Lexington, Kentucky. Central Standard Time is 28 minutes before 9 o'clock.
Jerry Bird of Kentucky shoots and hits. First time Bird's been on the free throw line. Back into the Duke lineup is Jim Newcomb. Going out, Junior Morgan, who's just committed that 3rd foul. Ronnie Mayer remains in with 3, however. Jerry Bird taking a bonus shot, trying for his 14th point of the game. Gets it. And the score is Kentucky 29, Duke 25. Joe Belmont back in front court for the Blue Devils. Spans, fakes Cassidy away and hooks it up. No good. Foul on Cassidy is his 2nd one of the ball game. 3 minutes and 38 seconds to go as Duke's Joe Belmont goes to the free throw line. Belmont awarded 2 free throws, has hit 6 in a row. Here's the first one good. Belmont missed his first 2 free throws of the game and now has hit 7 straight. Kentucky leads 3 points. Belmont's 2nd shot's good. Score Kentucky 29, Duke 27. Blue Devils 17 free throws so far in this game. Here's Hatton in front court, down the right side to Grawemeyer, back to Hatton, breaking to the right by Mayer, hooks it back, no good, but he's fouled on the play. Foul on Bob Licata. Duke, it's his 3rd one. Now the Blue Devils, have 3 men with 3 fouls, Licata, Morgan, and Mayer. Cassidy comes out of the game, and Johnny Brewer comes in for Kentucky. 20-year-old junior from Anchorage. He's a graduate of Eastern in Middletown. Stands 6'3", weighs 184. Hatton misses. And has another shot coming. He was fouled in the act of shooting. Brewer has 23 points this season, an average of 1.9 a game. His big night was against LSU at Baton Rouge when he scored 13 points. Into the Duke lineup is Tony Buchowski, Buhowsky. Hatton's 2nd shot's good. Score is 30-27 for Kentucky as Belmont moves back in front court. Burrow stabbed and missed going by for the ball. Now he breaks by Brewer, and Brewer blocks his shot, and Bird picks it up, feeds to Grawemeyer, who drops it, then fires to Hatton. Breaking in wide open, he got it. Hatton gets his 3rd field goal of the game, and Kentucky leads 32-27. 3 minutes to go now as Bobby Joe Harris moves in front court, gives to Belmont. Over to Tony Buchowski. 15-footer is short. Rebound taken off by Duke's Newcomb, who misses a one-handed shot, and Bird knocks it out of bounds off the hands of Mayer, and Duke will put it in play to the right of their own basket. Pass into Belmont. Johnny Brewer's on Belmont now as Mayer outside with Hatton on him, moves in, spins away from Hatton and lays it up short. Jerry Bird rebounds for Kentucky, and Brewer is tripped to the floor. As a pass to Grawemeyer to Burrow, he lays it up. Bird tapped it in. Jerry Bird gets his 7th field goal and 16th point to make it 34-27. And Kentucky now has its longest lead of the game. Belmont in front court for the Blue Devils. Gives a pass over to Bobby Joe Harris and back to Belmont, moving to the left. Buchowski has it. Out to Newcomb, 20-foot set shot, no good. Johnny Brewer rebounds for Kentucky. Buchowski, who's in the game now, is a 19-year-old sophomore from Rochelle Park, New Jersey. Here's Hatton to Bird, 10-foot jump shot from the left, good. Jerry Bird has just put in his 8th field goal of the game, and Kentucky leads 36-27 as the Wildcats begin to hit and run. Mayer breaks by Hatton and misses. Bird rebounds. High pass to Johnny Brewer, moving in front court. He's stopped by Belmont, who stabs for the ball from the rear and can't get it. Brewer over to Hatton, who moves down the middle. Kicks off to Bird. 10-foot jump shot is short. Bird moves in, rebounds, goes under, lays it in. Tremendous exhibition here by Jerry Bird. And Coach Rupp off the bench as Bird, tripped from the rear, has put Kentucky in front 38-27. Belmont in front court now for Duke. Gives it off, calling his play. Hands off to Harris. To Mayer, who fakes to the pivot. Nobody there. Out to Newcomb. Brohowski goes by. Newcomb passes to him on the right side. Brohowski moves away from Burrow and gives to Belmont. Belmont along the top rim of the circle now as Duke slows down the pace of the game with 1 minute and 5 seconds to go. Belmont gives over to Newcomb now. Bad pass to Brohowski. Pozzone. Gromeyer knocks it down. It's picked up by Newcomb. Bird knocks it down, and he picks it up again. Out to Harris now. Duke slowing it down. They're in trouble as they're down by 11 points. Belmont breaks. Here's a foul on Duke. Personal foul on Ronnie Mayer, and that's his 4th one. Junior Morgan coming back in for Duke has committed 3. Mayer, the leading scorer for the Blue Devils, has committed 4 personal fouls now. It's Hatton shooting for Kentucky. And here's Bob Licata with 3 fouls coming back into the Duke lineup. Mayer goes out and Brohowski goes out. Brohowski had 22 points this season, an average of 2 points a game. He's 6'9", weighs 245. Big guy, just went out. 49 seconds to go as Kentucky's Vernon Hatton will shoot 1. He's hit 5 out of 8. Has 11 points in the game. His season's average is 11.2, so a free throw will put him over his average in the first half. He missed it. Burrow taps, no good. Belmont rebounds for Duke. Spins by, but Hatton backs away and lets him through into front court. Brewer picks him up at the top rim of the circle. 39 seconds to go. Now driving, Licata hooks and hits. Bob Licata has exactly half of Duke's 6 field goals. It's 38-29 in favor of Kentucky with a half minute in the first half. Moving in front court's Vernon Hatton off a balanced court now as the Wildcats are abandoning the double pivot. Pass goes to Burrow. Out to Hatton, back to Burrow at the free throw line. Back to Hatton as they pass it back and forth. Hatton sets for a shot, then moves to the left after a threat of it. Over to Brewer to Gromeyer. Back to Brewer, over to Hatton. Hatton cuts, goes down the middle. He gets open. The shot's blocked, though, and Bird moves into the left, gets the rebound, and a one-bounce dribble. High pass out front to Brewer. 2 seconds to go as he shoots and misses. So at the end of the first half of play, the score is Kentucky 38, Duke 29. And quite a first half this one has been. Kentucky 38, Duke 29. Well, we'll have your individual scoring in just a moment. Championship performance. That's what Kentucky's leading basketball teams are giving this season. Now, if you would like championship performance from your car, the very top performance the manufacturer built into it, try the Champion gasolines and lubricants, first in popularity with Kentucky motorists, offered you by your nearby Standard Oil dealer. You'll find the dependable Standard Oil products and extra services he offers you an unbeatable team. There's Crown gasoline, the best value and regular grade gasoline you can buy. Crown Extra gasoline, engineered to meet the extra power demands of modern high compression motors. Long-wearing Atlas Cushion Air tires with a 12 months written guarantee against all road hazards. Rugged Atlas batteries designed with extra plates to meet the heavier demands for electrical power made by modern cars. Make your nearby Standard Oil dealer your headquarters for sure, safer car operation, and you'll enjoy low-cost transportation throughout the year. Well, in the first half of the game, we've seen Kentucky have a lot of difficulty in getting started, and Bird has led the resurgence in the past 8 minutes of the game as he's come up with 9 field goals, 2 free throws, and a total of 20 points. That is better than his game average for the season of 17.2. 20 points for Jerry Bird, who leads all scorers. The other scoring for Kentucky has seen Vernon Hatton pick up 11 points, 3 field goals, and 5 out of 9 free throws. Bob Burrow has been held to 5 points, 2 field goals, 1 out of 3 on the free throw line. Jerry Calvert has 1 point as he's hit 1 out of 2 at the free throw line. Phil Gromeyer has 1 point, 1 out of 2 on the free throw line. Johnny Brewer has been in the game. Bill Cassidy has been in for Kentucky, but neither has scored. Kentucky is having one of its worst nights on the free throw line. So far, the Wildcats have missed 8 free throws. While missing 8, they have been able to hit 10. Personal fouls are 2 on Cassidy, 2 on Burrow, 2 on Grawemeyer, 2 on Hatton, 3 on Jerry Calvert, and 1 on Bird. For Duke, Bob Licata has 3 field goals, half of the total Duke production, and a total of points. Joe Belmont's the leading scorer, though, for Duke with 10 points, and he has only 1 field goal. He missed 2 free throws and then hit 8 in a row for the Blue Devils to have 10 points here at halftime. The high-scoring Ronnie Mayer has 6 points, a field goal, and 4 free throws. Bobby Joe Harris has 1 point, 1 out of 2 in the free throw line. Jim Newcomb has 2 points and a field goal. He's missed 2 free throws, however. Tony Bruchowski has been in a reserve role for Duke, but he has not scored. And that is the scoring in the first half. Personal fouls, there are 4 against Ronnie Mayer, 3 against Junior Morgan, and 3 against Bob Licata. Well, right now we'd like to call in as our halftime guest Dean Cecil C. Carpenter from the College of Commerce here at the University of Kentucky. Well, Dean Carpenter, these few minutes here at the halftime, do you see any students from the College of Commerce on the floor tonight?
I don't pay much attention to the athletic activities of students, Claude, but I do see Jerry Bird, Phil Grawemeyer, and John Brewer, who are students in the College of Commerce. I also remember some past basketball players, such as Frank Ramsey and Skippy Whitaker.
Well, Dean Carpenter, just what is a College of Commerce? What's the nature of its programs?
The College of Commerce is a division of the university which combines broad and fundamental college education with more specialized training in the methods and procedures of business management. Our programs emphasize preparation for citizenship as well as preparation for careers in business. We are not as vocational as an engineering school and not as liberal as an arts college.
Well, now, Dean Carpenter, you say that the College of Commerce emphasizes broad general education. What does the training in business, where does it really get underway?
Right at the beginning, but only in modest amounts. The typical student will have only 20 semester hours in business courses at the end of his second year. The rest will be in English, mathematics, natural sciences, history, and other social sciences.
Well, now, do you monopolize his time during those last 2 years?
By no means. He is allowed to take 30 or more semester hours outside the college and has the whole university from which to take a choice, with the help of his advisor, of course.
Well, now, could you indicate the content of the business course a typical student in your college would take?
In the first 2 years, all students take some courses in economic history, economics, accounting, marketing, business English, and business mathematics. After that, the programs vary according to the individual interests of the student.
Well, now, what are some of those interests?
Because of the prosperity of the accounting profession today, many students are now electing to take accounting. The several other programs include banking and finance, personnel management, marketing and merchandising, advertising, and business management. More specialized courses include insurance, real estate, labor relations, public finance, and transportation.
Well, no one student takes all of these, does he?
Oh, no. If he follows the general business curriculum, he will take a selected core group, plus others of his choice. The core group includes some accounting, some finance, some marketing, and some management.
What kind of jobs do graduates of the College of Commerce get, Dean Carpenter?
The large and middle-sized corporations employ a large number of our graduates, but some go into business for themselves or return home to run a family business. A few will become teachers, some go into the government jobs, some enter the accounting profession, a few may take up a career of farming, and some enter the College of Law to become attorneys. Business training is becoming increasingly appreciated as a background for the law.
Well, does the College of Commerce have a program for girls?
A few girls take the specialized business programs, but the larger number will choose our secretarial curriculum. That program allows ample time for a wide range of liberal education courses along with the skill training in the secretarial arts. The demand for college-trained secretaries, by the way, seems insatiable both in business and government at the present time.
What other changes have you noticed in the demand for women with business training?
There's been a great increase in the number of women used by corporations and merchandising concerns. Public utility concerns employ women, the electrical appliance and manufacturing concerns employ women, and many more women are now employed in the personnel departments of corporations.
We frequently hear jokes about college students who want to become presidents of the business. What's the business school graduate prepared to do?
Well, the business school graduate is not prepared for a highly responsible managerial position at first, but he has improved his knowledge, has learned to work and to take responsibility. He is at a stage when he is easily trainable for a management position. and is quickly employed in some junior supervisor capacity.
Now, have any graduates from the College of Commerce arrived at top in business?
Well, of course, the college cannot guarantee success, and no training will help the lazy, the indifferent, the disinterested. But in our experience, there have been cases where graduates reached levels of high business responsibility in a short number of years. I could give an imposing list of names from our files, and I am confident that the number will increase. One large corporation has at least 35 of our graduates in responsible administrative positions.
Well, Dean Carpenter, what about the graduate who goes into business for himself?
We have always hoped to have more of our students learn about opportunities existing in the small individual enterprise. Several graduates have been remarkably successful in starting and developing manufacturing enterprises. Many of them start small merchandising concerns, which later become large. And a great number are taken into family-owned businesses, and they succeed in expanding these.
Well, Dean Carpenter, we all know that universities are expanding the stock of business knowledge by research. What about the research activities of the College of Commerce?
The professors devote much of their free time to investigating the phenomena of their teaching fields. They supervise students in research, they write books on their findings, and contribute to professional journals. The Bureau of Business Research is a department of the college engaged in many research projects. Just now, its staff is making a comprehensive study of highway finance in Kentucky. It devises and publishes statistics on income fluctuations in the various counties, and has completed numerous reports on the economic problems of the state.
Well, this would seem to offer excellent opportunities for graduate students.
That is right. The graduate student can get a realistic view of the economy. They can get research experience, and they can readily obtain employment as teachers, research workers in government offices, or in industry.
Now, Dean, is there any practical training in the College of Commerce?
Some courses are practical in approach, such as accounting, typewriting, merchandising, and advertising. Nearly all courses will use practical businessmen as visiting lecturers. Many students obtain experience in summer employment with business firms or by internships of 1 semester or more. Field trips to stores, factories, banks, and government offices add realism to the studies of all students.
What kind of faculty does the teaching in the College of Commerce?
Well, more than 70% of the teachers in the College of Commerce have the highest postgraduate degrees granted in their special fields. Almost all have several years of business experience, and some have certificates of a licensed profession, such as the CPA. They come from many universities or are engaged in research and study to keep abreast of the newer developments in business. They frequently return to business corporations for experience and retraining.
Well, now, how is it possible to keep faculty members from returning to business enterprise?
That is one of the big problems for a dean of a school of business. Salaries in business are high, and the demand is great. Fortunately, some men have become interested in the fields of knowledge and the opportunities for research and study offered by the university. Some of them like to teach and get a great deal of satisfaction out of the work done by their students. Some, as those in economics, of course, will find better opportunities in teaching than they would in business.
Well, now, Dean Carpenter, what can be said about services of the College of Commerce to the state?
Well, I am glad to answer that question because I have seen several thousand young men and women come to the university and thereby increase their abilities, their productivity, and their income earning power. In a low-income state like Kentucky, with small opportunities for youth, the added training available in a business school permits young people to compete in the world on an equal basis with students from the more favored states. Therefore, the College of Commerce makes Kentucky stronger by increasing the productivity of its young citizens and by its effort to keep up with the advancement of knowledge in the business world.
Well, Dean Carpenter, we don't want to keep you during the entire halftime, but we do want to thank you very kindly for taking time out from your enjoyment of the game to come by and make these remarks. It's been a real pleasure having you, and thank you again very much.
Thank you, Claude. I enjoyed being here.
Dean Cecil Carpenter, from the Dean of the College of Commerce here at the University of Kentucky, who has been with us here tonight. We want to call a fella in here who's doing a bit of hobbling right now. His name is Roger Newman from Greenville, Kentucky. Is that right, Roger?
Yes, sir, that's right.
What happened to the leg?
Well, the bone's chipped in the left side of the ankle.
You play basketball at Greenville High School, don't you?
Yes, sir, that's right.
What game did you get it hurt in, Roger?
The Litchfield game.
In Litchfield?
Yes, sir.
And I understand that after the Kentucky-Vanderbilt game, Saturday night in Nashville, you signed a grant and aid to play basketball here at the University of Kentucky next year.
That's right.
Roger, have you always wanted to play for Adolph Rupp and the Wildcats?
Yes, sir, I have.
And you're looking forward to it, no doubt.
Yes, sir.
Is there any one reason why you chose Kentucky?
No, sir, there's not. Well, they're a basketball power year in, year out, and I think everybody likes to play for them.
How tall are you?
6'4",
And how much do you weigh?
109.
How soon do you expect the leg to be well? Can you get more going this year, do you think?
Yes, sir, it should be well in about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yes, sir.
Well, you'll be able to get back to help your team in some during the tournament time for sure then, won't you?
That's right.
Well, Roger, thank you very much for stopping by. We hope that leg mends quickly and wish you and Greenville the best of luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
Roger Newman, a boy that we'll be hearing more from next year, who has signed a grant in aid with the University of Kentucky, be here next year as a freshman. Also, of course, that was done after the Kentucky-Vanderbilt game and right before that contest Saturday night down at Nashville. Corky Withrow of Central City signed. Well, Kentucky's having one of its worst shooting nights of the season. They've hit only 31.1%. And picking up 14 field goals on 45 shots, while Duke has had only 6 field goals on 29 tries, shooting percentage of 20.7. Kentucky leading 14-6 on field goals, or 28-12. In that department is ahead by only 9 points at halftime, since Duke leads them 17-10 on the matter of free throws. Well, the number 2 ranked team in the nation got back on the winning track tonight. We've just had word from up at Dayton that the Flyers have defeated Loyola of Chicago. The final score, Dayton 75, Loyola 37. Princeton defeated Rutgers tonight. Princeton 74, Rutgers 40 is the final score of that game. Here at the Coliseum, we're at halftime. Kentucky 38, Duke 29. The Wildcats being led by 6'6" Jerry Bird, who's pumped in 20 points at halftime on 9 field goals and 2 free throws. And Bird is right now only 14 points away from equaling what he did on his best night against Dayton. The Wildcats and the Blue Devils are both back on the floor. We do not have any indication from either Coach Adolph Rupp or Coach Harold Bradley as to who will be starting the second half of the game. But we'll stand by as halftime, second half, rapidly approaches. Bob Licata of Duke has exactly half of his team's field goals, and Jerry Bird has way better than half of Kentucky's field goals. He has 9 of 14. There's the warning horn for the second half. And before second half action comes up, let us remind you to join us at 8 o'clock Saturday night, when we'll be down at the Coliseum in Montgomery, Alabama, broadcasting the Kentucky-Auburn game, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, over these same stations. Kentucky has a 2-game road trip this weekend. Monday, down in Florida, against the University of Florida at Gainesville. Broadcast time there, in case you want to make a note of it right now, is 6:45 Central Standard Time. Kentucky 38, Duke 29, as we get ready to go back to play. Coming back at a pivot position, Bob Burrow. The forwards will be Phil Grawemeyer and Jerry Bird, the leading scorer with 20 points. At the guard positions, Vernon Hatton and Johnny Brewer, who is the 7th Wildcat to be in the game. Jim Newcomb checks back in to start for Duke. Newcomb will be at a forward, along with Ronnie Mayer, who's playing with 4 personal fouls on him. Bob Licata will be at the pivot. Joe Belmont is a guard, and Junior Morgan is in the Duke lineup too. So that's the way we go. Kentucky with a 9-point lead. Burrow taps over the head of Bird, and Licata picks it up just in backcourt for Duke. Passes to Newcomb past the dividing line, and it's back to play. Duke playing it very deliberately here in the early stages now as Belmont works the Mayer down the left side, breaks on the baseline, spins away and fakes Hatton, but walks with it. Belmont was getting away from Mayer, drawing his defensive man away, but not quickly enough. Now Hatton back in front court for Kentucky, pulls up straight away, 30 feet back. High 2-handed pass pump to Burrow in the pivot on the free throw line. Moves left, draws the defense, and gives to Bird. Shot short. Bird high for the rebound, goes under, lays it in. Jerry Bird has just picked up his 22nd point and 10th field goal to put Kentucky out in front for the second time by 11 points, 40-29. Bird's reeled off 10 field goals here tonight. The most field goals scored in a single game this season's 19 by Burrow. Here's Belmont in front court for Duke. Down the left side to Mayer. Back to Belmont, a screen. He's in the corner, though, and Brewer backs away. Whipped into the pivot to Morgan. Jump shot no good off the rim. Tapped up by Mayer, no good. And Hatton ties up under the basket. Hatton may be hurt. He was grabbed by Bob Licata and thrown to the floor. Trainer Rusty Payne's off the Kentucky bench, but Hatton's up and on his feet. Licata at 6'6", has 3 inches height advantage on the Duke free throw line, but Hatton now jumps him, and the ball's taken by Bob Burrow. Over to Hatton. The official covering the baseline was about 40 feet late and had to really put on the steam to get there. Here's Hatton weaving and driving to the left. He gives to Brewer, coming in behind him. Brewer moves out, trips, but doesn't walk as he gets it down for the dribble. To Burrow with a hook. It's no good. Brewer taps it straight in the air and then rebounds it. Nice play by Johnny Brewer. Hook pass into the pivot off the knee of Burrow. He moves outside to get it. Belmont knocks it down. Brewer knocks it down, and Hatton picks it up. Over to Brewer. Jump shot. It's good. Johnny Brewer hits from the outside, and Kentucky moves into a 42-29 lead as Bird and Brewer hit. Now here's Jerry Bird taking the ball away from Junior Morgan. Breaks in. Hands to Grawemeyer, who lays it in. Grawemeyer gets his first field goal and a fine pass from Jerry Bird. Kentucky leads 44-29. Mayer drives. Hatton hooks it down, but it's picked up by Licata, who lays it in. Bob Licata has 4 of Duke's 7 field goals. It's Kentucky 44, Duke 31. We got 18 minutes to go here at the Coliseum in Lexington. Vernon Hatton in front court for Kentucky. Comes inside Brewer on a crisscross, and Belmont knocks the ball down, and it's picked up quickly by Newcomb, fed to Mayer on a 2-1 break against Brewer, who backs away and lets him in wide open. Ronnie Mayer picks up his second field goal of the game, an 8-point. The score, 44-33, as Duke quickly comes right back in. Belmont again takes it away from Brewer. Second straight time the little guy has taken it away from Kentucky out front. Here it is over to Mayer again, who takes a jump shot that's no good this time. Jerry Bird rebounds. Outside pass to Grawemeyer, moving up the middle of the backcourt. He stops and gives it to Brewer. Hands to Hatton. Hatton moves past the 10-second line. Kentucky playing a single pivot now. Pass to Grawemeyer on the right side. Outside to Johnny Brewer. Under to Burrow, lays it in. Bob Burrow gets his third field goal. Here's on the left side to Mayer, wide open on the right side. Licata misses, taps and misses, and Bird picks it up. Off the left to Grawemeyer, who moves down the left side. Then gives it outside to Brewer, who breaks to the right. Jump shot's good. That's a second field goal for Johnny Brewer, and Kentucky leads 48-33. Capacity crowd tonight of 12,000, we believe, will be the estimation. 16.5 minutes to go as Belmont pumps up a 25-foot set shot that bounces off the head of off the rim and over the head of Grawemeyer. But as Licata tried to save, Grawemeyer leaped and got it. 3-on-1. Burrow to Grawemeyer, wide open. He got it. Second field goal for Grawemeyer, and timeout Duke. Listen to the roar for the Wildcats. Kentucky 50, Duke 33, as the Wildcats have just moved into a lead of 17 points. Coming into the Duke lineup is Bobby Joe Harris. Harris checking in at a guard position. And we'll have to hold up for just a minute to see who Harris will be replacing at the guard. Well, as we do wait, let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.
WVLK, Lexington, Kentucky. The time is 1 minute now before 9 o'clock.
Leaving the game for the Blue Devils is Bob Licata to make room for the incoming Bobby Joe Harris. To start this second half, Bird, Brewer, and Grawemeyer hit field goals before Licata and Mayer came back to hit for Duke. But now we've had Burrow, Brewer, and Grawemeyer, the same three, come right back with 3 more field goals. Kentucky's in front by 17 points. Burrow has a skinned-up left elbow, which he's examining as he walks back on the floor, and Duke's in possession of the ball under the Kentucky basket. The incoming pass to Bobby Joe Harris, who moves up past the dividing line for the Blue Devils. Passes down the left side to Belmont. He's open, a 10-footer, good. Belmont gets his second field goal and his 12th point of the game to make it 50-35. Brewer in front court for the Wildcats, angles off to the left, fakes a pass to Bird, retreats, and then gives to him. Bird sets. Newcomb playing him loosely. Bird bounces to Burrow on the pivot, breaks by, gets it, but drops the ball, and it's picked up by Duke. Scooping it up is Junior Morgan, handing over to Ronnie Mayer. Mayer's in trouble this half. He started it with 4 personal fouls. High when it whipped into the pivot to Belmont, spins away from Brewer and shoots under him. No good. Tapped up, and it's good. A fine tap by Ronnie Mayer. Just barely got his fingertips on for his 3rd field goal. Kentucky 50, Duke 37. And the Blue Devils have just reeled off 2 field goals again, matching 3 by Kentucky. Here's a pass to Burrow, who drops it. Brewer knocks it down, fights for it, and gets it. Passes to Hatton in front court. Fakes, and a jump shot by Hatton is no good. Junior Morgan rebounds for Duke, out to Ronnie Mayer. 3-on-1, 4-on-1 against Grawemeyer. To Belmont, who fakes, mows out, and Grawemeyer stopped the 4 Blue Devils. But from the outside, the shot is good by Bobby Joe Harris. His first field goal of the game. Timeout Kentucky. Their 3rd timeout of the game as Phil Johnson comes in at forward. Johnson, a 19-year-old sophomore from here in Lexington, is from the University Training School. He's 6'6", weighs 210, has 15 points this season, an average of 2.5 a game. His big night was Monday night in Atlanta when he scored 6 points against Georgia Tech. Well, we've got a surprise for you. Temple has been upset tonight by Muhlenberg. The final score is Muhlenberg 67, Temple 66, taking their first loss of the season when they had moved into the number 7 ranking in the AP poll. Richmond beat Virginia Tech tonight. Richmond 66, Virginia Tech 60. Muhlenberg upsets Temple. That's the big one of the moment. We've had 22 points scored in 5 minutes by the 2 teams. As Kentucky leads by 17 points, now it's only 11, 50-39, as the Blue Devils have surged back with 3 field goals. Kentucky's in possession under the Duke basket. 4 minutes and 55 seconds gone, and 22 points have gone through the nets. Well, in the first half, neither team, neither official, and could get settled down. And, man, it was a wild and woolly one. This second half is all different. Everybody working smoothly now. Here's Grawemeyer with a 15-foot jump shot that's no good. Round the rim twice and out of bounds. Under the Kentucky basket goes to Kentucky. Burrow has come out of the game to make way for Phil Johnson, the sophomore. Here's Bird getting it from Hatton. Back to Hatton under the basket. He hooks his shot up. It rolled in. Hatton gets his 13th point of the game to put the Wildcats on top. 13 points, 52-39. Back in front court now for the Blue Devils from Duke, Bobby Joe Harris. Over to Newcomb, down to Belmont in the right corner with Brewer on him. He drives out. Brewer blocks the shot, and Phil Johnson rebounds for Kentucky. Whips it out to Johnny Brewer and up to Vernon Hatton, moving quickly in front court. On the left of Bird, 10-foot jump shot, good. Bird gets his 24th point of the game. Kentucky moves on top 54-39. In front court, Harris of Duke, sophomore guard, to Belmont in the right corner. Puts the ball on top of his head and then quickly fires a pass out front. That's picked up by Newcomb. Moves to the right corner. Bird stabbing for the ball but unable to get to it. Out to Belmont, who moves right, cuts back left. Brewer forces him to the outside. And as he crisscrosses, he leaves with Harris, who weaves to drive on Grawemeyer and is turned away. Over to Belmont, 20-foot set shot, it's no good. Glances off the rim to Vernon Hatton. Has the ball knocked down by Newcomb, but picks it up and gives to Johnny Brewer. High, went down in the right corner to Phil Johnson. Back out front to Johnny Brewer. Looks for Grawemeyer, who's gone to the double pivot with Bird. Here's Johnny Brewer, 20-foot set shot, no good. Grawemeyer taps, no good. Duke rebounds. Pulled in by Bobby Joe Harris, who moves in front court, comes left, 20-foot jump shot, good. Harris gets his second field goal, both in this half, and it's 54-41. Kentucky has a 13-point advantage. Hatton in front court to Grawemeyer on the right side, back to Brewer. Here's a foul call as Hatton goes to the floor. He's called for a charging foul. It's his 3rd foul of the game, and Hatton's hurt on the play. Kentucky trainee Ruster Payne out on the floor. Hatton nodding his head that he's okay. 13 minutes and 11 seconds to go. Kentucky has 2 sophomores in the lineup, Phil Johnson and Vernon Hatton. This, incidentally, is the first personal foul of the half. Joe Belmont on the Duke free throw line has hit 8 in a row. Number 9 goes through the nets as he draws the bonus shot. Shooting now for his 10th free throw in a row after missing his first 2 tries. Kentucky's lead, 12 points. Belmont's bonus shot, good. 54-43. Kentucky has an 11-point lead, which at one time was 17. Very excellent second half play by both teams now. Here's Hatton down the left side to Bird. Under the basket to Brewer. He falls away with a shot that's good. Johnny Brewer gets his 3rd field goal to put Kentucky on top 56-43 as we go into the last 13 minutes of the game. Up in front court now is Bobby Joe Harris of Duke. Bounce pass to Belmont in the right corner. Drives out of there, cuts in and fires it up and in. Fine play by Joe Belmont, who seemed to just play tit-tat-toe down the middle very easily until he got his opening. 56-45, Kentucky with an 11-point lead. Johnny Brewer in front court. Over to Hatton, down the right side to Grawemeyer. Moves out and hands to Brewer. Brewer weaves, moves to the top rim of the circle, breaks to the left. 20-footer, it's no good. Grawemeyer tapped it in, falling under the basket. Third field goal, 7th point for Grawemeyer. Kentucky 58, Duke 45. Ronnie Mayer in front court down the left side, hands to Harris. He shoots over the screen, and it's short. Rebound taken by Johnny Brewer, who moved out in front of Belmont to take it. Slows it up in backcourt, lets his offense pour by him. Now walks past the dividing line. Pass down the right side to Grawemeyer, moves out, 15-foot jump shot. It's good. Grawemeyer gets his 4th field goal, all in this half. And Kentucky leads by 15 points, 60-45. This is unbelievable that both teams should be so ragged and everything get completely out of hand in the first half and then come back and, man, they're sharp. 60-45, Kentucky leads. Here's Belmont with a set shot. No good, bounces off of the rim. Hatton on a pose, gets the rebound. Belmont shoots in there but misses. Pass up to Johnny Brewer, off the left side to Bird. Here's a 10-foot jump shot, good. Jerry Bird now has 12 field goals and 26 points. The lead Kentucky into a lead of 62-45. Their second 17-point lead. Back in front court, Belmont in the left corner gives a high one to Morgan, a left-handed hook. It rolled out of there, and Johnson rebounds for Kentucky. Gives it over to Johnny Brewer. And bounce pass up the way to Vernon Hatton, moving in front court. Comes to the top rim of the circle, cuts to the left, almost loses the ball as Harris bats it down, but he picks it up and out front to Johnny Brewer. Brewer, bounce pass the right to Grawemeyer, back to Brewer, moving down the right side. Bounce pass to Hatton, out front to Bird, fakes at the top rim of the circle, loses the ball as it's knocked down by Newcomb, picked up by Belmont. Off the left side, a driving shot missed by Harris of Duke, and he hit the floor under the basket. He's hurt and down, and Vernon Hatton held the ball up rather than put it in play. Now they say no, let him go, and here's Phil Johnson moving, laying it in for Kentucky. That is the first field goal of the game for Phil Johnson, and Duke wants to complain about it. Here's what happened there. Driving was Bobby Joe Harris of Duke, who was hurt and under the basket. And Vernon Hatton, rather than go ahead with a play, held up since he seemed to be badly hurt. And Hatton, then the official nodded to him to go ahead and play that everything was okay. So Hatton just reared back, threw to Johnson unopposed under the basket. Now Duke takes a timeout, but the goal by Johnson makes it 64-45, and the timeout's number 4 for Duke. This timeout is for the injured player. Duke apparently had not called timeout. That was a matter of sportsmanship there on the part of Vernon Hatton, as the Blue Devils had a man down under their basket and hurt. And Hatton pulled up without Duke calling timeout. But then when the official nodded to go ahead, and apparently we believe the official did not realize that Harris, who drove under the basket, never came back out to play. He missed the driving one-handed shot open under the basket. The rebound was taken by Hatton, who was trailing him. And he did not know that Duke did not have 5 men down court. Johnson was left open as the 4 remaining Blue Devils had started back up court. We have Bob Licata checking back in for the Blue Devils. And Kentucky has moved into its longest lead of the game, 64-45, with 10 minutes and 38 seconds to go. Well, very unfortunate happening there. We've just been informed now that the officials have decided not to charge that timeout to Duke since it was for the injured player. Now an official moves toward the scoring table, and let's see what's being said here. Well, the official has just said we take the timeout, meaning it is an official's timeout. So now we're back to play as Duke has the ball under the Kentucky basket. Harris, who was injured, remains in the game. Ronnie Mayer in front court, drives by and flips it up. No good. Johnson bats it to the outside. Grawemeyer picks it up. Back to Johnson. Batted down. Johnson holds on. Flips to Johnny Brewer. Now a whistle is blown. Now a technical foul on Bob Licata of Duke. Phil Johnson moved to near the court when Licata batted the ball down, and Licata ran to the official and yelled, "Over and back," and the official quickly said, "Technical on you." So here's Jerry Byrd at the Kentucky free throw line. One shot, that's all he gets, and it's good. Kentucky has the ball at the dividing line, retaining possession on a technical foul. Vernon Hatton and Johnny Brewer, the guards, line up to put it in play. 12 field goals for Byrd. He's only 7 shy of the record this season by Bob Burrow, who's not in the game. Byrd's playing the pivot, a single pivot. Man, he's got 4 guys on him, passes it out, and Phil Johnson drops it out of bounds. Kentucky 65, Duke 45. That technical free throw by Byrd has given Kentucky its longest lead of the game. Now here's Harris in front court for Duke. Over to Newcomb, fakes right, comes left, and runs over Byrd. The foul? Blocking on Byrd. Second personal foul on Jerry Byrd. 10 minutes to go. Bob Licata of Duke moves to the scorers table to ask how many times out. Duke has called 3, according to our record. Shooting for the Blue Devils is Jim Newcomb, 6'5" sophomore from Gary, Indiana. Here's Newcomb, a right-handed push shot, good. First one he's hit in 3 tries. Timeout Duke. There's number 4, according to our record. Well, here is the scoring in the second half. Jerry Byrd has scored 7 points for a total of 27 this game. Vernon Hatton has scored 2, a total of 13. Phil Johnson has scored 2. He didn't play in the first half. Phil Grawemeyer has scored 8, a total of 9 now for the game. Bob Burrow scored 2, a total of 7 for the game. Johnny Brewer scored 6 points, all in this half. For Duke, Bobby Joe Harris has scored 4 points, a total of 5 now. Jim Newcomb has scored 1 point in this half, and he has another free throw coming. He scored 3 points for the game now. Joe Belmont has scored 6 points in this half, a total of 16. Bob Licata has scored 2 for a total of 8. Ronnie Mayer scored 4, a total of 10. Exactly halfway through the second half, Duke having just called its 4th timeout. Newcomb of Duke ready to go. These teams have played 4 times down through the years, but never in Durham, North Carolina, the home of Duke. Here's the shot, good by Newcomb. He gets them both, and it's 65-47. Hatton quickly in front court for the Wildcats, over to Johnny Brewer. Phil Johnson moves to a double pivot with Byrd, who gets the ball on the weak side out to Grawemeyer. A 15-footer, good. Duke collapsing the defense. Grawemeyer going to the outside for his 5th field goal and 11th point. Kentucky has its second 20-point lead of the game. Here's Harris in front court for Duke. Wildcats 67, Blue Devils 47. Belmont in the right corner with Johnny Brewer on him. Fakes, comes out of there by Brewer, who fouled him going by. For Johnny Brewer, that's personal foul number 1. Belmont made a nice move then, faking to shoot over Brewer, drawing the Kentucky junior in on him. He went around him. Belmont on the free throw line has hit 10 in a row. He's shooting 1. It's good. Now he tries for his 12th consecutive free throw. He missed his first 2 chances. 9 minutes, 33 seconds to go. It's good. And the score is Kentucky 67, Duke 49. Grawemeyer gets it down the right side of the front court, pass to Hatton. It's knocked down by Licata. A fight for it. Duke's got it. Pulling it up is Ronnie Mayer. Moving up in front court with it. Grawemeyer knocks it down. Mayer picks it up and drives. The shot blocking on Grawemeyer. That's the 3rd foul on Phil Grawemeyer of Kentucky. Stops the clock with 9 minutes and 19 seconds to go. Shooting for Duke is Ronnie Mayer. Mayer is shooting 1 shot. Mayer hasn't missed tonight. It's good. He'll take a bonus shot. In case you tuned in late, Temple, undefeated in Philadelphia, was upset tonight by Muhlenberg. Bonus shot good by Mayer. 67-51 as Duke has put in 4 straight points on the Wildcats after their second 20-point lead. Now here's Hatton moving to the right. Belmont on him, stabbing hard for the ball but unable to get it. Hatton pivots and gives out to Brewer to Grawemeyer in the right corner. Quick 2-handed pass out to Johnny Brewer, moves slow to his left. Belmont goes through. Brewer spins and takes a jump shot. No good. Grawemeyer knocks it down. He's hurt as he hits the floor hard. He's back on his feet very quickly. Grawemeyer, high in the air, was knocked to the floor by Ronnie Mayer, who spun in under him for the rebound. Duke moves back in front court with Newcomb down the left side, passing to Mayer. Breaks through the keyhole, fakes Grawemeyer out of the way, and hooks it in. Mayer has scored 3 field goals since picking up that 4th personal foul, and that's the 6th straight point for Duke. Kentucky leads 67-53. Here's Bird off the left side, fakes the drive. 3 men go for him. His shot no good. Hatton knocks it down and drops it out of bounds. Mayer touched it last as he knocked it away from the Kentucky guard. Out in the left corner to Bird. Jump shot, no good from the left side. Rebound taken off by Dukes. Bob Licata. 3-on-1 against Johnny Brewer. Harris gives over to Licata, who shoots no good, but he's fouled by Phil Johnson. Phil Johnson has committed his first foul of the game, and Kentucky is calling its 4th time out of the game. Well, the unusualness of this game can be described in this way. Kentucky played Monday night and played 40 minutes of basketball without a timeout, and tonight they've called 4. Duke has called 4, which means the 2 coaches tonight have had to call 8 times out to try and get things straightened up and squared away. Gromeyer has hurt his right hand. He's coming out of the game and being replaced by Bob Burrow. The big guy for Kentucky tonight has been Jerry Bird, who's come through with 27 points, just 7 under his best night of the season against Dayton. Right now, there are 8 minutes, 14 seconds to play here at the Coliseum. Kentucky 67, Duke 53. The Wildcats were leading 67-47 when Duke called a timeout. And now Duke has rattled off 6 straight points as we get ready to go back to play. Don't forget to join us Saturday night at 8 o'clock from Montgomery, Alabama. It's Kentucky and Auburn. Broadcast time 8 o'clock over these same stations. Duke's Bob Licata is on the free throw line for the first time in the game. He's been charged with 3 personal fouls and a technical. Duke, incidentally, has not committed a foul other than that technical by Licata. No personal fouls committed by Duke in this half of play. Gromeyer moves up to take a seat next to Adolph Rupp on the bench, which indicates he might be the next substitution in the game if there is one. 2 shots come to Licata, who's ready now for his first one. Duke trails by 14 points. Twice they have been 20 behind. He hits. Kentucky's lead now only 13. They had a 9-point lead at halftime. Here's Licata's second shot, 2-hander from between the knees. It's good. Kentucky 67, Duke 55, as the Wildcats have eaten that 20-point lead down considerably now. Hatton in front court off the left side to Bird. Back to Hatton, moving to the left side. Brewer goes through. Pass hooked out to Johnson, who cuts back to the right, feeds to Hatton, who drops it, moves outside, picks it up, feeds Bird, the left side. 10-foot jump shot. It's short. Knocked down and out of bounds by Ronnie Mayer of Duke. Duke is concentrating the defense right down the middle. Bird has been shooting over it. Here's Bird in the left corner, gets the pass, gets to Burrow. 2 men go for him, and he passes out to Johnny Brewer. Brewer over to Hatton. Down the right side to Johnson. Brewer moves in behind the defense, but Johnson didn't see him. Pass out to Hatton to Bird on the left side, back out to Hatton in front lines. Hatton over to Brewer, down the right to Phil Johnson. Now Hatton goes in, but Mayer goes with him. Johnson breaks, fakes Mayer, and the shot short. Foul over Ronnie Mayer. That's all of it. Mayer, M-A-Y-E-R, fouls out of the game. 7 minutes and 27 seconds to go. Gets a handshake from Johnny Brewer and Vernon Hatton as he moves off of the court. Fine hand. Ronnie Mayer came into this game averaging 21.6 a game. He had 14 points tonight. He had 8 field goals, 6 free throws. Junior Morgan, 6'7" comes in to replace him. Phil Johnson on the free throw line for Kentucky. First time tonight, hits for his 3rd point of the game. Johnson has a bonus shot coming as Kentucky leads 68-55. The right-hander shoves it up, but no good. Tap by Bird, by Burrow, no good. Burrow rebounds, can't hold on to it, and it's taken off by Duke. Bob Licata rolls it out to Belmont. Johnson knocks it down from him, and Vernon Hatton picks it up for Kentucky. Up to Jerry Bird, moving down the left side with it. He pulls up, out to Hatton, over to Johnny Brewer now, moves to the right. Overloading to the left is Kentucky. Hook pass intended for Burrow, taken away by Licata of Duke. He's got it 2-on-1 against Johnny Brewer. Breaks left and lays it in. Licata gets his 5th field goal and 12th point of the game. 68-57. Kentucky leads by only 11 points with 7 minutes to go. A 20-point lead has almost been cut in half. Phil Johnson gets it on the right side for Kentucky. Out to Hatton, over to Bird, who breaks through to the left. Double team, lays it up and in. Bird gets his 13th field goal of the game to make Kentucky a leader of 70-57. Back in front court now is Bobby Joe Harris of the Blue Devils, angling off to the right, but out deep still. Bounce pass to Belmont in the right corner, pulls it up over his head, feeds, and a hook by Licata way high on the boards, no good. Phil Johnson rebounds for Kentucky. Feeds to Bird, who comes by Joe Belmont, moving down the left side. Pass out to Phil Johnson. Here's a 20-foot jump shot. It's short, no good. Burrow taps, and Belmont picks it up as it misses the boards. Moves up past the dividing line for the Blue Devils. Johnny Brewer retreating to pick him up at the free throw line. He drives off to the left of the baseline and misses. And wide open under the basket, Licata lays it in. His 6th field goal, and it's 70-59. Kentucky 70, Duke 59. Burrow gets it on the right side for Kentucky. Outside pass to Bird at the free throw line. Breaks to the right and gives to Brewer. Out front to Hatton. He's open. Cuts, breaks in. 2 men go for him, and his shot no good. Hatton knocks it down, but Belmont picks it up for Duke. And the Blue Devils are running and coming back on the Wildcats. Belmont shoots good. That's the 4th field goal for Joe Belmont. Phil Grawemeyer waits to get in for Kentucky as the Wildcats lead by only 9 points. Their second 20-point lead has been cut in better than half now. Here's Hatton dropping the ball, but picking it up. Moves down the right side, goes for it. Licata fouled him as he jumped to shoot, and that's the 4th foul on Licata. Grawemeyer checks in for Bob Burrow. Vernon Hatton is on the Kentucky free throw line where he's hit 5 out of 9. Hatton will shoot 2, we believe. Correct. 5 minutes and 18 seconds to go. Hatton's first try, no good. Hatton came into this game as Kentucky's best free throw shooter among the starters, and he's missed half of them. Second shot's good. And into the Kentucky lineup, Jerry Calvert, who's been out for quite a spell. Duke did not put it in play, although Belmont was in front court. They're ruling the score had blown the horn to get Calvert into the game, replacing Johnny Brewer. Kentucky 71, Duke 61 is the score. Belmont talking with the official as he moves back down toward the baseline. Now the other official yelling that a timeout has been taken by Duke. According to our records, that is their last time out of the game. 5 minutes and 18 seconds to go. Kentucky leading 71-61. They have had 2 20-point leads. But all at once, Duke, down by 20 points, commenced to run. And they have closed that gap from 67-47 when Belmont came through with a pair of free throws. Mayer hit 2 free throws. Then Mayer got a hook shot. And Licata picked up 2 free throws to make it 68-55 when Kentucky called timeout. Returning to play, Licata hit a shot, but Bird matched it, and it was 70-57. Then Licata got a lay-in shot, and Belmont a driving one-hander to cut Kentucky's lead to 9 points, which is what it was at halftime. Now we've had Hatton hit a free throw and put it back to 10 points, 71-61. This is the number 8 team in the nation, Kentucky, playing the number 10 team, Duke. The Blue Devils catch the number 9 team, North Carolina, Saturday night. That game is in Durham. As we get ready to go back to play, Duke is in possession under the Kentucky basket. Bobby Joe Harris, 5'11" sophomore guard, will put it in play. Kentucky has 2 sophomores in the game, Johnson and Hatton, and Duke has 1, Bobby Joe Harris. Here's Belmont in front court to Newcomb. Correction, each team's got 2 sophomores in this lineup. Pass to Belmont in the right corner. He fakes and drives, and a handoff to Licata. Jump shot's good. Licata of Duke, the big gun here tonight, with 7 field goals, makes it 71-63, and Kentucky is in trouble with 5 minutes to go. Here's Bird, a 20-foot jump shot. No good. Phil Johnson taps, but Belmont takes it off for Duke. Rolls away from Vernon Hatton. Up in front court. Pass down the middle. Licata wide open, lays it in again. Licata of Duke has cut Kentucky's lead now to just 6 points. 71-65. Vernon Hatton walking up the back court now as Kentucky is reeling under pressure. Here's Hatton faking to Calvert. Belmont trying to slip around and get it, unable to find it now as Ed Beck comes off the Kentucky bench. Pass into Phil Johnson on the left side. Out to Calvert as Kentucky controls the ball. Off the right to Bird. Bird looks to the pivot. 1 bounce dribble. Calls somebody in to him. Bounce pass to Grawemeyer. Bird breaks by, gets the ball, hooks it up. No good. Johnson fights for it out of bounds and a jump ball. Johnson will jump. Kentucky Wesleyan has defeated Rawlins tonight, 100-83. Here's Johnson jumping, taps to Grawemeyer. Belmont slipped it away, and Grawemeyer fouled him. That's the fourth foul on Phil Grawemeyer as Ed Beck replaces Phil Johnson for Kentucky. 4 minutes and 5 seconds to go. Duke, trailing by 20 points, 67-47, has reeled off 18 points while Kentucky has scored only 4. And Joe Belmont is at the free throw line where he has hit 12 in a row. So the Blue Devils are not out of it by a long shot. Here's Belmont firing. Good. 13 in a row for Belmont as he takes the bonus free throw. Kentucky leads by only 5 points. 71-66. Here's Belmont for the bonus shot. It's no good. Tapped up by Licata. No good. Grawemeyer taps it back. Calvert saves, and right to Grawemeyer. Bob Licata almost got it for Duke. Over to Hatton and up to Calvert, breaking in front court. Down the left side to the corner to the baseline, cut off by Junior Morgan. He moves back to the outside and feeds Vernon Hatton. Hatton angling for the right, passes to Bird in the pivot. Gromeyer's trip, and the ball knocked out of bounds by Bobby Joe Harris of Duke. 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go as Hatton of Kentucky will put it in play with a 5-point lead. High pass on the left side to Bird. Bird bounce pass to Hatton on the baseline, back to Bird on the left side. Bird moves up the left side, pivots, gives to Ed Beck, back to Calvert, breaks to the right, down the side, turns, comes back outside. 3.5 minutes to go. Kentucky 71, Duke 66. Back to Calvert now, breaks to the right by Licata, lays it up, no good. A foul on the play. Bob Licata of Duke has just fouled out of the game. 5 personal fouls and a technical against Licata. With 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go, he leaves the game. He's the second Blue Devil to foul out. He goes out with 18 points. 8 field goals, 2 free throws. Jerry Calvert of Kentucky will be at the free throw line. Is coming in to replace Bob Licata will be Paul Schmidt, who has not been in the game. Schmidt, a 20-year-old sophomore, is from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. SCHMIDT, 6'4", weighs 190. Has scored only 8 points this season, an average of 1 point a game. Here's Ray Mills coming off the Kentucky bench, being waved into the lineup. Mills, 6'4", weighs 185. 22-year-old junior from Manchester, graduate of Clay County, replacing Phil Grawemeyer. Mills wears number 55, has scored 55 points, an average of 4.2 a game. His big night was the second game of the season against Temple when he scored 12. Jerry Calvert shooting the free throws, hits. And Calvert gets a bonus shot now. That's only his second point of the game. 6-point Kentucky lead. Calvert's bonus shot's good. Kentucky 73, Duke 66. Here's Belmont quickly back in front territory for the Blue Devils. Cutting to the left. He gives a pass off to Newcomb. Newcomb down the left corner to Belmont. Under the basket to Morgan, who hooks, and he missed it. Rolled out on him. Fight for the ball to the outside. It's picked up by Schmidt, and it's knocked down off his knee by Calvert out of bounds. Calvert was high in the air when he slammed the ball out of the hands of Schmidt off his knee and out of bounds. Kentucky's got possession as Vernon Hatton moves slowly up the backcourt, past the dividing line, gives to Calvert. Calvert gets by Harris, moving down the left side, backs away from him, whips to Ed back in the pivot, back to Calvert, drive, he got it! Junior Morgan of Duke knocked it out, but it is goaltending against Morgan, and the goal counts. Calvert getting his first field goal of the game. 75-66. Kentucky had a 5-point lead, and Calvert has come up with 4 points. Field goal and a pair of free throws. Belmont with a jump shot, good, out of the right corner. Belmont has 5 field goals for the game. Kentucky 75, Duke 68. 2 minutes, 12 seconds to go. Hatton in front court to the right, double team, has the ball knocked down, picks up, gives to Calvert. Beck wide open, they pass to him, but he doesn't shoot. Out to Hatton, back to Beck on the right side. Back to Hatton. Duke got 3 men on Hatton as he moves to the baseline. Junior Morgan fouled him. That's his 4th one. Duke has committed only 3 fouls in this half of play, but 2 of the 3 have cost them the services of Licata and Ronnie Mayer. And Morgan, who's just committed the 3rd foul, has committed his 4th. Only 3 Blue Devils have fouled, but they've committed 14 of them. Hatton shoots and hits. Hatton draws the bonus shot now with a lead of 8 points, 2 minutes to go. 76-68 as Hatton looks over his shoulder to make sure Calvert's in safety. Puts the left foot on the line. Bonus shot good by Hatton. That field goal by Calvert a moment ago was the first Kentucky field goal in 4 minutes and 7 seconds as they hit a drought after getting a 20-point lead. Here's Morgan driving, shot, no good. Rebound by Ed Beck, who fights his way out of there with it. Junior Morgan gangs for him, can't get him. Beck throws it, knocked down. Belmont's got it for Duke, rolls it off. Ray Mills picks it up, can't find it. Now he's got it. Vernon Hatton wide open, they get it to him, he lays it in good. Vernon Hatton wide open, but Ray Mills never did see him. He passed off to Beck, who threw it to Hatton. And it's 79-68 with a minute and a half to go. Here's a drive from the right side by Newcomb. A bounce pass out to Belmont. He fakes, comes out. Calvert picked off. Bird comes up and stops Belmont, who pulls up in the keyhole. Hands, and Morgan shoots and misses short. Fight for the rebound. It's taken by Harris of Duke. Jump shot, no good. Top rim of the circle. Knocked into the Duke bench. It's out of bounds to Kentucky. Vernon Hatton to Jerry Bird. 3-on-1. And Bird throws it right to Licata. And he walks with it. Right to Jim Newcomb, rather. And that is much the style of the entire first half right there. 1 minute to go. Kentucky with an 11-point lead. Calvert out of bounds, gives a pass just in backcourt to Vernon Hatton, who is fouled by Bobby Joe Harris of Duke. First foul on Harris. Correction, a charging foul on Vernon Hatton. Well, that's 4 fouls on Hatton. Shooting is Harris of Duke. He's got 1 try. It's good. So the 5'11" Bobby Joe Harris of Duke will take a bonus shot as Duke trails by 10 points, 55 seconds to play. A wild and woolly contest here tonight. The shot's good. 79-70. Here's Hatton out of bounds with it. Harris slaps it down, and it's picked up by Duke's Junior Morgan. Back to Harris on the left side. Back over to Belmont, wide open. He lays it in. Belmont's 6th field goal of the game. Kentucky wants timeout with 47 seconds to go. Their last time out of the game. 10 times out in this game. Kentucky had an 11-point lead, and they're in trouble again. A lead of 79-72 with 47 seconds to go. Before we go back to play, let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.
WVLK, Lexington, Kentucky at 9:32.
Back to the Coliseum in Lexington once again, where it is Kentucky 79, Duke 72. It's been a close contest, although Kentucky has had 2 leads of 20 points. They just had a lead of 11 points. That with less than a minute to go, and right now they have a lead of only 7 points, as Duke has come roaring back with them defensively. Vernon Hatton committed a foul, and only seconds later had the ball taken away from him by Bobby Joe Harris of Duke, and Belmont scored off of it. So now Kentucky has the ball under Duke's basket with 47 seconds to go and a lead of 7 points to work on, and Duke's going to try and work on them defensively. So let's see how it all comes out. High pass to Hatton, hooks in front court to Ed Beck. Beck holds it, moves outside with it, and Morgan of Duke fouls out of the ball game, trying to get to it. Junior Morgan fouls out with 41 seconds to go. We think this to be one of the most unusual things we've ever seen. Duke has committed 15 fouls, and 3 men have committed them all. Junior Morgan fouls out with 4 points. He was shut out from the field. He had 4 free throws and was shut out entirely in his second half. Tony Buchowski is replacing him. Buchowski saw brief reserve duty in the first half, but didn't score. Kentucky's Ed Beck, who hasn't scored, is on the free throw line for 1 shot. 41 seconds to play. Free throw, no good. Rebound taken off by Duke as Jim Newcomb gets it. Hatton stops him in backcourt. He spins away from Hatton, though. Comes past the dividing line, moves to the left. A half minute to go as he hands off to Harris, breaking by. Comes by Mills, and a foul has been called on Ray Mills of Kentucky. That's the first foul on Mills. Stops the clock with 29 seconds to go, and 1 shot to Bobby Joe Harris, who has hit 3 and missed 1. Kentucky 79, Duke 72. Harris has 1 try. It is no good. Mills gets the rebound. Leaping up there, and then throws it out of bounds. And Duke's got it again. Mills hooked the pass intended for Calvert, but missed him by about 10 feet. Here's Belmont, 25-foot jump shot. Good from the outside. A leaping, twisting shot by Belmont to make it 79-74. Calvert down in back court is pulled up in back court. 3 men on him, and he pivots, hooks in front court to Mills, and he's fouled by Buchowski. First foul on Buchowski with 8 seconds to go. Kentucky's Ray Mills goes to the free throw line for 1 shot. This is a hard contest to describe. How ragged it's been. Mills hits at the free throw line to give Kentucky a lead of 6 points. He has a bonus shot. It's good. Kentucky 81, Duke 74. Joe Belmont moves up the backcourt with Bird on him closely, then retreating. 3 seconds to go as he breaks into the keyhole to the left. A jump shot. No good. He's fouled. Wait a minute. The official said that goal counted, but it didn't go in. Foul is on Ray Mills, his second one of the game. Joe Belmont's on the Duke free throw line. Free throw is good, and he gets a bonus shot. Bonus shot coming. It's good. So the final score, 81-76. Kentucky 81, Duke 76. And quite a contest it was. We'll have the individual scoring in just a moment. Throughout Kentucky, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, and Mississippi, the 5 southern states served by the Standard Oil Company of Kentucky, Standard Oil products have enjoyed sales leadership for 70 years in a highly competitive industry. This sustained leadership is due to the confidence of motorists. Confidence not only in the quality of Standard Oil products, but in the service they find at Standard Oil stations. Your confidence is Standard Oil Company's greatest asset. That's why in advertising their products, they ascribe to them only those qualities they actually possess and promise only that performance they are capable of delivering. Try Standard Oil products. They will demonstrate the economy and dependability which keep them first in sales throughout the area served by Standard Oil dealers. Here's the individual scoring in the ball game tonight. Jerry Bird, who had 20 points in the first half, has ended up with a total of 29 points. Bird tonight had 13 field goals and all 3 of his free throw opportunities to come within 5 points of his highest output of the season against Dayton. 29 points for Jerry Bird, who leads the Kentucky scoring. Vernon Hatton tonight was able to produce 18 points when he hit 5 field goals, and on the free throw line hit 8 and missed 5. 8 out of 13 free throws and 5 field goals for Vernon Hatton. Phil Grohmeyer came out with 5 field goals in the second half after a free throw and 2 tries in the first half, and a total of 11 points. They were the only 3 Wildcats that got to double figures tonight. The other scoring saw Bob Burrow pick up 7 points on 3 field goals and 1 out of 3 on the free throw line. 6 points were garnered by Johnny Brewer on 3 field goals in the second half. Jerry Calvert picked up 5 points tonight, 1 field goal, 3 out of 4 on the free throw line. 4 of Calvert's 5 points came in the closing minutes of play when Kentucky was being pressed very hard by Duke. 2 points for Ray Mills tonight at the free throw line. Bill Cassidy and Ed Beck were in the ball game but didn't score. Beck missed a free throw opportunity. Only 4 Kentuckians didn't play tonight that were on the bench. John Krigler, Bill Smith, Lincoln Collinsworth, and Harold Royce. Phil Johnson, we missed him, had 3 points, a field goal, and 1 out of 2 on the free throw line. Duke's Bob Licata, who fouled out with 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go, 5 personal fouls and a technical, had 18 points. He had a total of 8 field goals and 2 free throws. 12 of these points came in the second half. Ronnie Mayer, the Blue Devils' leading scorer, with an average of 21-6 a game, had 14 points when he fouled out. With 7 minutes and 27 seconds to go, he had 4 field goals, 6 free throws. Joe Belmont, the captain of Duke, had 10 points in the first half of play, but in the second half he came back to really up his scoring production. He had 7 free throws and 6 field goals in the second half. Total of 19 points in the second half, and Belmont, by sinking that second free throw, was able to tie Jerry Bird for scoring honors. He had 29 points, although Bird, who had 13 field goals, Belmont had only 7. That shows you the difference on free throws, as Kentucky had a big edge on field goals tonight, but Duke stayed in the ball game and close to them by virtue of the free throw shooting. Belmont on the free throw line missed his first 2, and then he hit 13 in a row before missing one and came back to hit a pair. So he hit 15 out of 18 tonight and had 7 free throws. The other scoring for the Blue Devils, Bobby Joe Harris, sophomore guard, came out tonight with 7 points, 2 field goals, 3 out of 5 free throws. He had 6 of those 7 points in the second half. Jim Newcomb, another sophomore, picked up 4 points, a field goal in the first half where he missed 2 free throws. He got a pair of free throws in the second half of play. That was all the Duke scoring. Tony Buchowski was in the ball game but did not score. Paul Schmidt came in late and he failed to score. They were the only 2 Blue Devils that saw action that did not get into the scoring column. Duke had 16 field goals in the second half. That's 10 more than they had in the first half. Kentucky had 17. So Kentucky tonight had a total of 31 field goals. Duke had only 22, but the free throw shooting made the difference, as Duke tonight committed only 16 personals and a technical. Kentucky did not lose anybody, but committed a few more free throws. 21 against Kentucky, and each team called its limit on times out, 10 of them in the ball game. Kentucky ended up hitting 32.2% of its shots tonight, 39.2 rather, hitting 31 field goals out of 79 shots, and Duke's 22 field goals came on 63 tries, shooting percentage of 34.9. Duke had just a little better than 20% in the first half, warmed up in the second half. They were down by 9 points at halftime and outscored Kentucky in the second half of play by 4 points. 81-76 is the final score. Kentucky had 2 leads of 20 points. Michigan State beat Detroit tonight, 85-78. Kentucky Wesleyan defeated Rawlins tonight. And in case you missed the earlier score, Temple was upset tonight by Muhlenberg, 67-66. So one of the undefeated teams has been knocked from the high perch. Dayton was a winner by a big margin over Loyola of Chicago tonight. Kentucky led 38-29 at halftime. Jerry Bird with 20 points ended the game with 29. Joe Belmont had 10 points in the first half. He ended the game with 29 as Bird and Belmont tied for scoring honors. And those are the highlights from tonight's game between Kentucky and Duke. We'd like to thank our engineer Larry Runyon of Lexington radio station WVLK, and this invitation for you to tune in again Saturday night of this week, February 4th, when Standard Oil Company and Standard Oil dealers throughout Kentucky, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, and Mississippi will bring you the game between Kentucky and Auburn in Montgomery, Alabama. The National Safety Council says that in 1956, the number 1 killer of persons between the ages of 1 and 35 will be accidents, unless we all take safety seriously. Safe drivers make safe highways. Now this is Claude Sullivan speaking from Memorial Coliseum on the campus of the University of Lexington, the University of Kentucky in Lexington, wishing you good night. Your final score again, Kentucky 81, Duke 76. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.